Right now, how an area hospital's hot water system may have put patients at risk of a serious disease and how they're addressing it tonight.
Plus, a News 3 exclusive, a new family of 4 takes some time to thank their heroes in Madison's station number 5.
This is News 3 at 10.
Thanks for joining us. Tonight, UW Health will flush its water system to clear out any bacteria that caused 4 patients there to contract Legionnaire's disease.
Legionnaire's is a severe form of pneumonia. Amy Reed joins us now to tell us how else the hospital is handling this outbreak. Amy?
The hospital believes that water system they're cleaning out is the source of all of this. They made a change to the pressurized system a couple weeks ago, and they think that might have stirred up bacteria and put their patients at risk. Yesterday, the test came back positive. A former patient at UW Health had contracted Legionnaire's disease, and since then, 3 other patients have been confirmed to have this form of pneumonia.
A frightening thing, I think, for most patients to hear.
Dr. Nasia Safdar is the medical director of infectious disease control at UW Health. She said right now the hospital is tracing the source of the disease back to the complex system of pipes that carries water through the facility. A change to the system on November 12th might have stirred up bacteria and carried it to patients' rooms. Since this bacteria infects humans through water in the air, it wouldn't have been harmful to drink, but could have transmitted through steam in their showers. A culture test on 2 of the 4 patient showers shows that was likely. Now, 2 patients that were discharged have been readmitted, and Safdar said it's possible this bacteria has made their initial conditions worse.
Obviously, I don't think there's ever a situation where you would say that it posed no additional risk to the patient. It's an infection that they shouldn't have had, and it had its impact.
Until the system is flushed with a mixture high in chlorine, the hospital is keeping other patients from showering to limit the spread and monitoring any developing respiratory illnesses. Though UW Health said it's been 23 years since they last encountered this type of infection, Safdar said it's common in health facilities, and you couldn't find a hospital that has never had something like this happen to them.
It's just ubiquitous. It's everywhere. I think we were one of the very fortunate ones that we hadn't seen it for over 2 decades, and I think we'll have no problem getting back to that state.
This disease is not contagious. The hospital has given an antibiotic to those that have tested positive for Legionnaire's, and they said their patients are recovering.
Amy Reed reporting tonight. Amy, thank you.
Turning it over to weather now. Snow dusting the streets of Madison. Some light flurries tonight, still coming down, reblanketing the region in a layer of white, and the snow will continue to fall overnight. Let's check in with meteorologist Dana Fulton. She joins us in the Weather Center. Dana?
Eric, we've been seeing the snowfall for the last few hours. Right now, we're actually dealing with some really big fluffy flakes for us as there's a little more moisture moving in instead of just those light flurries that we had a little closer to 5 o'clock. Looking at our Doppler track, this is a loop for the last 3 hours. You can see that moisture just sliding into southern Wisconsin and now picking up a little more steam. A lot of the area currently seeing those flurries, and we'll continue to see those overnight. Do plan on accumulation totals being under an inch for us. It's not going to be a major event, but the roads currently are quite slick, and they certainly will stay slick as you head out the door tomorrow morning. Plan on giving yourself just a little extra time if you can. Right now we're close to 23 in Madison, about 23 in Monroe as well, and 27 in Janesville, with our dew points a little higher than what we saw earlier as that snow has moved on in. We have a little more moisture around. So it does feel a little closer to where actual temperatures are at. And compared to this time yesterday, it's just a few degrees warmer. As you may have noticed, this afternoon was also a few degrees warmer than yesterday. Good news, that trend continues into the weekend. Our breeze now coming from the southeast, about 8 to 15 miles per hour really expected for us tonight. Tomorrow we'll have a calm breeze, so wind chill isn't much of a factor. But we will, again, have that slick morning commute for us. So please keep that in mind early in the morning. In the afternoon, in the mid-30s, we'll be close to 40 by the weekend. We'll take a closer look at that 10-day in just a few minutes.
Dana, thank you. The city of Baraboo will be holding its second community meeting tomorrow, the next phase in the healing process after the servicing of a controversial photo earlier this month. Baraboo faith, community, civic, and school district leaders have been working collaboratively, finding the best way to move the city forward. Tomorrow's meeting, the second of 3, attendees will have the opportunity to participate in 3 rotations of 15-minute discussions covering a wide variety of topics. It'll go from 6 to 7 p.m. at the Baraboo City Hall.
A Janesville family says they plan to file a complaint against the Rock County Sheriff's Department after a deputy shot their German Shepherd. The sheriff's office says the officer shot the dog out of self-defense, but the Reed family says their dog Sky is not the aggressive type at all, and at the time was chained up and behind a fence. April Reed says it was difficult to even tell what was happening and why it happened.
The only thing I could think of is who's outside, shooting, so I panicked, through the kids in the bathroom. And then he went outside, opened the door a little bit and said, "Who's out there?" And that's when the cop finally said, "You know, it's me, I'm out here." And he goes, "Did you just shoot my dog?" And he goes, "Yeah, I did."
The deputy involved is a 7-year veteran and has not been placed on administrative leave. The Dane County Sheriff's Office is also investigating after a family in Blue Mounds had 2 dogs shot over the weekend. One had to have his leg amputated and the other died from a gunshot wound to the chest. Members of the Thronson family say they started keeping the dogs tied up after a neighbor threatened to hurt them because the dogs were chasing away the deer he was trying to hunt. A lieutenant with the sheriff's office says it is illegal to shoot a dog, and deputies will work to find out what happened.
A woman has been sentenced to 10 years in prison after being charged with killing a man in a drunk driving crash last year. Police say that crash in October of 2017 was 54-year-old Kelly Johnsrud's second OWI in 8 days. Verona native Kevin Caldberg was killed in the crash along Highway 14 near Arena. After serving the 10 years in prison, Johnsrud will be on extended supervision for 8 years. An 18-year-old man has pleaded guilty for a fatal shooting that happened at a Fitchburg apartment parking lot last March. Joshua McInnes, convicted of first-degree reckless homicide yesterday in a deal with prosecutors. Other charges were dismissed as part of that deal. McInnes, 17 years old when he shot and killed 20-year-old Julian Patterson in Fort Atkinson outside the New Fountains apartments. 2 others have been charged in the case. One was sentenced to 5 years. The other goes to trial next month.
Madison police are hoping the public can identify this man caught on surveillance yesterday stealing from a residence on Pelham Road on the south side. The man took several packages from the home that had just been delivered there. He is believed to have been in a smaller silver SUV. Friends and family will say goodbye tomorrow to nearly 4,000 Wisconsin National Guard soldiers. The group is deploying to Afghanistan this winter. A private send-off is planned at Lambeau. The soldiers being deployed are from the Appleton-based 2nd Battalion 127th Infantry. They will help train and support security forces in Afghanistan.
Barron County is dedicating a Christmas tree in honor of missing teenager Jamie Kloss. The tree will be decorated at the Barron County Justice Center. Police believe Jamie was abducted earlier this fall after her parents were murdered. Her extended family says they are holding out hope to have Jamie home for the holidays. The Madison family has a lot to be thankful for this holiday season.
They're celebrating the arrival of a new daughter, and at 11 days old, she's having a big impact on her community.
We started with a nice, busy day.
Madison paramedic Michael Flores says November 17th started like any other day.
The usual here at Station 5.
That day also seemed to start off like any other for the Giggy family.
We were taking Macy to an overnight Girl Scout camp, and it was 8 o'clock when we dropped her off. I started having some cramps.
At 38 weeks with her second child, Kelsey didn't really think much of them.
It's been 7 years since I had a baby. I didn't really know what it felt like, so I was kind of just guessing.
But shortly after returning home, things started to get a little intense.
Suddenly, I started realizing these are contractions, actually. They're coming really close together.
Kelsey and her husband, Cole, realized it was time to have this baby.
So he's printing the birth plan, getting the bags ready, throwing stuff all over the house.
But that birth plan would soon change.
I was getting ready, and then there was no chance I was getting off that toilet.
So Cole quickly called 911, something that turned a normal day into a special one for paramedics at Station 5.
And we were dispatched to Cottage Grove Road for imminent birth.
I was pushing in the meantime, and I felt her head coming. So I was a little worried at that point. We weren't making it to the hospital.
By the time Michael and his partner arrived, the hard work had already been done.
We heard Madeline and realized that Mom had taken care of the entire job already, so it made it easier for us.
And when we heard a knock on the door, we were like, oh, thank God they're here.
And today, the entire family got to express their gratitude one more time to their heroes at Station 5.
It was an honor. It's I have to say, in my professional experience, this is always, especially when it turns out great, one of the most joyous, honorable, and positive things that we get to assist, that we get to share and be part of.
And as you see there, Mom and baby Maddie are doing well, and Dad and big sister Macy couldn't be happier.
Next at 10, House Speaker, Wisconsin Representative Paul Ryan kicking off his farewell tour now. It started today at the Pentagon, where he received the Defense Department's Distinguished Public Service Award presented by Defense Secretary James Madison. The award, the highest one available for a private citizen, non-career federal employee, foreign national, or politician. Next Wednesday, the Speaker of the House will deliver his farewell address in the Great Hall of the Library of Congress. In the U.S. House of Representatives, Democrats who now control the chamber have nominated Nancy Pelosi to succeed Paul Ryan as Speaker of the House. The California Congresswoman has led the House Democrats for 15 years. She became the first female Speaker of the House back in 2007.
Couldn't be more honored. That is a figure of speech, but it's in fact in this case as true as any statement anyone could ever make.
Some Democrats push for new leadership after the party regained the House majority in the midterm elections. Pelosi struck a deal with the bipartisan Problem Solvers Caucus in order to gain its support for her speaker bid.
3, 2, 1. Merry Christmas. Thank you.
President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump took part in the 96th annual National Christmas Tree Lighting Ceremony tonight in Washington, D.C. The first lighting took place on Christmas Eve in 1923 when President Calvin Coolidge lit a Christmas tree in front of 3,000 spectators. Still to come tonight, a travel headache on the west side, an update on the Verona road crash from this afternoon.
Plus, Jeep debuts its first truck in some 25 years. We'll take a look at it when we come back.
Welcome back. After a thief stole an irreplaceable trumpet from an Army bugler, a company is gifting a brand new one.
Well, we first told you about this story a few weeks ago. Staff Sergeant Matthew Miller of Sun Prairie was in Milwaukee when someone broke the back window of his truck, stole his trumpet that had been with him through a tour of duty in Iraq. The company that made that trumpet, Getson, heard about the stolen trumpet and has now given Miller a brand new one. And not just any trumpet, but its 80th anniversary edition that only a few people in the world have. Miller says This was extremely generous, and he is forever grateful. A new initiative aiming to recruit more veterans for Wisconsin's workforce. The state spending almost $2 million on the Mission Wisconsin campaign to attract military personnel when they leave the service. More than 45 Wisconsin employers are expressing interest in meeting with and potentially hiring veterans for work.
Honda is recalling 122,000 minivans worldwide because the sliding doors can open while the vans are moving. The recall covers Odyssey vans from 2018 and 2019. Honda says some parts in the power door latches can stick and stop the doors from fastening securely. Owners should take their vans to a dealer as soon as they get recall letters, which will be mailed in late December. Fiat Chrysler is introducing the first Jeep truck in 25 years. The Jeep Gladiator debuted today at the Los Angeles Auto Show. It resembles the iconic Wrangler with the utility of a pickup truck. It comes in a number of trim levels and is expected to be in showrooms in the second quarter of 2019. Verona Road, look at this, back open in both directions tonight after being closed for nearly 10 hours this afternoon and evening. This is a live look from the Beltline looking south down Verona Road. The Department of Transportation says a contractor hit a power pole around noon, causing the road to be closed off. It reopened in both directions right around 9:30 tonight.
A federal plan to keep the invasive Asian carp out of the Great Lakes has gotten considerably more expensive. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers this week released its final strategy at a price of $778 million, which is nearly 3 times the estimated cost in a 2017 draft version. After a public comment period, the Corps expects to send that plan to Congress in February. The nationwide Christmas tree shortage is again hitting home. This time, the weather also playing a role. Jensen Trees in Verona says it had a little over an acre that was flooded with heavy rain this summer. They lost most of the young trees under 3 inches tall in that area. On the national level, since Christmas trees take several years to grow, experts are also blaming the 2009 recession and an excess amount of trees a decade ago that drove many growers out of the business.
Meteorologist Dana Fulton joins us now, and it is beginning to look like a winter wonderland out there.
It really is like a little snow globe outside for us right now. So if you don't have your Christmas decorations ready yet, maybe this will be your inspiration to get in the mood. Maybe a good idea for this weekend, too, to spend some time inside and put the decorations up. We'll get to that in just a moment. For tonight, plan on this light snowfall to continue for us overnight into early tomorrow morning. Because it is so wet outside, there's just so much moisture coming in with the snow. It's very thick snow that's falling right now, or the snowflakes themselves are. We are expecting a slick morning commute. Even out on the roads right now, it's quite slick outside. So please, if you're getting ready to head out for anything this evening, I know it's a little late, but any late drives for you tonight, it's going to be slick, and early tomorrow morning, you're going to want to give yourself just a little extra time on the road. By the time we get to the weekend, our next system starts to move on in. Could get a little messy for us heading into Saturday and Sunday. Looking at our Doppler track right now, the snowfall moving through in the last few hours. Currently still seeing snowfall in Madison, stretching all the way down 39, Janesville to Milwaukee. Platteville also seeing snow right now. We stay mostly cloudy overnight, with the snow chances continuing into early Thursday, but dying down by mid-morning. We get closer to noon and it's just a cloudy sky, no snow threat for us overnight. Into Friday, plan on a variably cloudy sky. That means a little more sunshine for your Friday. Temps will actually warm up to the upper 30s for Friday afternoon. That'll be a nice change of pace. Our snowfall potential, if our numbers will pop up, just under an inch is really what we're expecting for Madison. Right around 3/4 of an inch will be our max with this event overnight. Some higher totals further north and a little to the east towards Milwaukee. They say may see close to an inch for us, but it's not a major event coming through. Certainly enough, though, to have measurable snowfall. By Saturday morning, our next system is an area of low pressure sliding south of Wisconsin. If it stays further south, then we're going to be looking at snow. If it continues to come up north, we're talking about rain. Right now, though, this freezing line, that pink line, gets very close to Madison throughout the course of the day. Much of the area will be dealing with rainfall on Saturday, but anywhere in central or northern Wisconsin, we're talking about snowfall and the potential for some very messy freezing drizzle. That'd probably be the best word for it. Into Saturday or Sunday morning, as our temperatures fall overnight, the chance, of course, for that rain to transition to snow just grows, and we're going to be lingering snowfall throughout much of the morning and early afternoon on Sunday. Our snow depths starting to include Madison for us. After a chilly November, we have had a few snow moments for us throughout much of the month. We've seen days with temps well below average. Even with this cool trend, We're only 22nd on the list of the coolest Novembers. Looking ahead to December, though, which starts right around the corner, we're going to stay below average. At least that's the likely trend for us. Downtown right now, we have snowflakes. Today, we barely hit a high in the upper 20s, 28 degrees. Overnight lows are going to drop close to 24, so just a few degrees lower than where we're at right now. And we will be in the mid-30s as we head into tomorrow. Do plan on a few degrees warmer for tomorrow and into Friday. Friday night into Saturday is when things will start to get messy for us, and it will linger into Sunday morning. The question mark lies in how far north that low wants to track. We would like to just deal with rain on Saturday. I think I can say that safely.
All right, we have a couple more days, so we'll figure things out.
Yes, waiting patiently.
All right, thank you.
Dana, thank you. Some would say Aaron Rodgers isn't quite the same this season. What does Aaron Rodgers think about that? We'll hear from him next in sports.
The Badger basketball team is off to a 6-1 start. Yes, the men's team, but also the women's team. Tonight, Wisconsin tries for a pretty significant win against Duke in the Big Ten ACC Women's Challenge. The Badgers' Imani Lewis was named the Big Ten Freshman of the Week. She puts together another nice game tonight, 11 points for Lewis, but Duke has the better of it. No one gets in front of Duke's Miela Goodchild, who rolls to the hoop for two, only the second loss of the young season for Wisconsin. Final score, Duke 60, Wisconsin 53. Marcia Howard had a double-double. Badgers' next game is Tuesday when Marshall comes to the Kohl Center. Now, the Badger men's team starts the regular season of the Big Ten Friday with a 7 o'clock game at Iowa. Wisconsin is 6-1 so far, ranked 22nd in the country. Last night's comeback win against NC State said something about this team.
Confidence and trust in our guys. I feel like it especially showed yesterday. Being down 12, I'm not sure how much time was left, but just being able to rally together, come back. We made a lot of mistakes. It wasn't our best night, but just for us to be able to come back and win that game shows a lot about us.
Jonathan Taylor was named the Big Ten's running back of the year and also named first team All Big Ten. This season, Taylor has rushed for 1,989 yards. He'll go over 2,000 in the bowl game since that counts in the stats now. In 2 years, Taylor has 3,966 yards and 28 touchdowns. In addition to Taylor, 4 linemen are first team by the coaches or media vote. Michael Dieter, Bo Benshaw, Tyler Biotish, and David Edwards. Dieter named the Big Ten's lineman of the year. Ohio State quarterback Dwayne Haskins, the Big Ten's offensive player of the year. Also tonight, head coach Jeff Brom is staying at Purdue. Badger volleyball has 3 first-team all-conference selections, headlined by sophomore Dana Redke, who's a unanimous selection and makes the first team for the 2nd year in a row. Sydney Hilly and Madison Duello also make first-team All-Big Ten volleyball. Wisconsin opens the NCAA tournament tomorrow night at the UW Fieldhouse, where the Badgers play Green Bay in the second match, beginning at about 7:30. The Packers play the Arizona Cardinals at Lambeau Field Sunday. Now, when you're 4-6-1, you get a lot of heat. Just ask Meg McCarthy and just ask quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Now, we don't really know how bad his knee has been all season, but the numbers are clear. He's not playing nearly as well. It has been suggested his mechanics are off. Well, Rodgers isn't buying it.
I study myself. I'm very critical of my own film, and I'm not playing it differently fundamental-wise. So you can't have it both ways. You can't love it when it's a certain way and then critique it when it's the other way. And I mean, you guys can, because that's what you guys get paid to do. But that's the news cycle. They're going to pick at things when you're in a situation like this where we're at. We're 4-6-1, so it comes with the territory.
The Milwaukee Bucks are home tonight against the Chicago Bulls, tied at 113 final seconds. Chris Middleton for the win. He wins it. Giannis with 36 and 11. Final score: Bucks 116, Bulls 113. And we'll be right back.
Dana's here with a final check of your forecast.
So we're looking at flurries right now overnight. We're going to continue to see snowfall until early tomorrow morning. So do plan on a little slower commute as the roads are going to be fairly slick early tomorrow. The snow, though, wrapping up by mid-morning. Temps will be in the mid-30s tomorrow under a cloudy sky. Variably cloudy for Friday, back towards 40 for Friday and Saturday, and then we are expecting rainfall throughout the day on Saturday with the potential for more snow coming in overnight.
All right, Dana, thank you, and thanks for joining us for News 3 at 10.
Do something good, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.